And now it's time for a small interactive session as we're going to be asking all of you to put forward your questions. And the 3 best questions of the evening will be getting awards. Books from Marine Sports at the hands of Sir. And the judges, Mr. Khanna, thank you so much. So it's time for all of you to put forward your questions.
So the judge would like to say
Yes,
something.
yes, sir. Please, please.
I was very unfortunate to watch only 3 innings of his life.
Bye.
That's a fact of life. I can admit it. The first one was at CCI when he was just at 665. You corrected, sir. He was out second ball or first ball. Second one was at Bombay Gymkhana because we all were excited at seeing these 2 guys. So old Doc Saraiya bowling, 60 plus. Melli Irani was 80 plus, stumping him on the leg side, first or second ball. I said, but Salah, isko dekhega hi nahi. So when he was playing his matches, I never watched him. Till the World Cup came in, 2011. So when India reached the finals, my son who stays abroad, he said, Dad, you won't go, so I'll go on your ticket. So I said, what do you mean? He said, you won't see Sachin. Why would you? So I was at Bombay Gymkhana watching the game. My son was sitting in Wankhede. And from there, you could see everything. And you could hear everything. So and those days I used to smoke. So Bombay Gymkhana in the evening had big screen put up. So this was when Sehwag got out. And I was quite nervous. Ke abhi kya hoga? Tendulkar was batting, so every ball I used to see on the replay. Every ball. Till one ball which I watched, he was out. I said, oh my God. Then came the last innings of his last test match. And I still retain those tickets in the original form. Last match, evening, he was 50 odd not out. Next day morning, we were held back by the police because Mr. Rahul Gandhi had come in to watch him. So we were not allowed to go in. The moment I went in, he got out, caught in slips. So I never watched him ever live. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Prabhudesai, sir, good that you've not put it in the book.
He's in company with Ajit Tendulkar, who also.
Yeah.
That parental part which he said, that was what was there.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm sorry.
Please, please, sir.
I'm not on the agenda, but 30 seconds and Anil is there. A lot of you not that on the human part of Sachin, and Anil will know because he was there. Suru Naik had his benefit match and it was not happening for 2-3 years. The sponsors were crying off. And then Sandeep Patil was on the committee along with me, Anil, Hemant Painekar, told Sachin that sponsors aata bhi aa raha hai, but the sponsor insists that Sachin has to come and show his presence and I will give the check. And Sachin evidently, I was not there of course, but later on, Sachin told Sandeep, check nahi gyaisa, draft gyaisa, he tikade yahi. And Sachin came for that and Suru got the draft for that benefit match. Now that's the human side of a guy who had no business to come there. He could have just called up the sponsor and said, Suru Naik's match, he's played with me for Sandesh Fatal, please play the benefit match, organize the benefit match. But he came there, collected the draft, gave it to Suru, took photographs, and that benefit match is a different matter altogether. But that's the human side of it.
Yes, definitely a fantastic player, but more than anything else, maybe a gem of a person, a gem of a human being. Yes, it's time for all of you to put forward your questions. We'll take around 4 to 5, 6 questions, and the top 3 get the prizes. Yes, Dipesh Sule, my dear friend.
Hi. My question is to anyone, for the panel. पुण्यामध्ये एकदा मी एक पार्टी वाचली होती किंवा एकाच्या टी-शर्टवर पण होतं की क्रिकेट हा खेळण्याचा नाही पण बोलण्याचा विषय. And you can relate that with today's digital world. A lot of trolling happens, a lot of players after every performance are said something or the other. So one is how much true that quote is in today's generation, but secondly, as a sportsman, I know for a fact that there is SNC training that is there, so that's more for the mind to get trained. But you guys are the best one to answer this. That how should a sportsman take that? Will be an inspiration, further for the next generation. Or probably that discipline can apply to anybody's life.
No, I wouldn't. Not got your question properly.
Because as a
You
sportsman,
were talking about the
as a
mental
sportsman, one how you face it, and the other one how you apply to become an example that no matter the outside sound, this is my answer.
Insulating yourself from the outside world.
No, for what? But for on performance, on
Then
what?
how do you come out
I'm
of
not-
that whole noise that is going around you as a sportsman?
When you're playing,
Yeah.
you don't go through it. I tell you, it is the most scariest moment when you enter the field to go and bat or whatever. The noise is always there. You even forget the noise. You can hear the remarks as well. So, at what happens, your concentration, then you realize that you're there for a certain purpose. And your purpose is to concentrate on what you're going to do. I'll give you it's a good question when you ask now that I've understood. I remember my first test match. Walking in at that time, you're nervous, you're really scared basically. Because you don't know, you don't want to, one thing which goes into your mind, everyone says positive, positive, positive. Negatives do come. One of the negatives is that when you hear all this noise, all this thing, you think, I hope I can get my first run. That at least, I open my account as such, or I'll face the first ball, I'm not going to come back. That's a scare, first, which you get along. And I think, you listen to everything that is happening. And then what happens when the bowler is actually coming into bowl, everything is lost. You're just, because it is so intense, that time when he leaves the ball. And I remember the ball hit my bat in the middle. It was Bob Willis's ball. And I don't know how my body moved. I don't know how if you think suddenly that, I knew it was a short delivery, it all comes naturally. It's the practice that you have done all these years that makes you instinctively do all these things. So that is there. And the good part is that when you're doing well, that sort of noise drives you to a different height. For me, it happened in the sense that not while batting, it happened while fielding. When the record of catches were being put through, then any ball which came to me, everyone would sort of make a noise about it. And I remember my sixth catch, which I took. It was the first catch of the next innings. It was Karsan Gavri's ball. And Dennis Amos was the one who was getting the maximum runs for England at that time. And he played forward or whatever. I was not in forward short leg, I was at backward, a leg slip type. And this ball flew out from here. And just to hear that noise of the crowd and the excitement, I took 2-3 steps, and I think that was the best of my catches, and I dived, and it came into my fingers, and I rolled. It was just what we call in cricket terms, chakugiri. So we were doing that. And actually, Dennis Amos walked off, and it was a catch. Now, that time, that noise suddenly becomes your sort of
Driving force.
assistant. But when you're going into bat, and it could be Tendulkar, it could be anyone, your first thing is it hits you. It's like when 60,000 people are. It's like it's a very, very funny moment. It's a moment that later in life you miss it, but at that time you said, "What are you doing here?" I hope I don't make a fool of myself. I hope it answers your question.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, yes, sir.
My question is to
Devendra, I think you very beautifully compared Sunny and Sachin.
Thank you.
What is important for us to understand? How would you compare their technique and temperament? Because these are the two qualities which really make a batsman a great one.
Yeah.
So if you look at Sunil's technique and temperament and compare it with Sachin's technique and temperament, you would like your thoughts on that?
I give a little of it in the sense technique both were naturally both are from the same sort of a backdrop of Mumbai cricket. So they were both very compact in their technique. Sunil as well as Sachin. But where Sunil I thought had a little bit more was his judgment of length, which I was talking about. He never made a mistake. His judgment of length, if you even watch videos and watch that 221 which he made at the Oval, it is immaculate. He knew exactly, both could get out, to a ball or whatever. But his judgment of length was never wrong. And that's where I would give him a lot of kudos. And if you saw Tendulkar, there were at times you found, he's played a short pitch ball forward, or a bouncer he's put off the front foot and Sunil, you never got him on that basis. You've gone through a lot on that. But the judgment of length of Sunil was incredible. I think that is where I would find him a little ahead and ahead of Virat Kohli as well.
But he is in a different sense.
Yeah.
You can't get over.
In the meantime, just informally putting it across to you, if you want to order for drinks, the person is here, you can just raise your hand and call him. Yeah, next question, it's Mr. Jayan Joshi.
So my question is whether today's cricket is heavy or now you see in IPL we see more than 500, 550 runs are
Making,
scored.
yeah.
So where this today's cricket is going on? Because it seems totally batsman dominated.
The good thing, because of the bat, number one is the bat. So bats have become so good, and the ball is remaining the same all this while. The outfield has become smaller because of the advertising boards around. The grounds are much better kept, and what's happened is people are much more fitter. They are much more. They're physically much better than and stronger, and you can see that the way. I think only somebody like Sandeep Patil or Kapil Dev were hitting the stands in those days. People like us, if we tried it, we got caught at Deep Mid-off or somewhere. But they used to hit the stand, and we were great. That wow, he's hit it on the first floor of the stand, and that's them. Today, everyone seems to be hitting it out there. Even the women are hitting it in the first stand. So what you're saying, how it will be, I see it's very exciting for cricket that it's changed to that extent that people are being able to innovate, play shots. I think people are wanting entertainment, and that's what they're getting. And I feel at times sorry for the bowlers more than anything else. But I think it's going to be, it's interesting, because that's what, if you see, everyone is only calculating how many sixes this chap has got, what is the run rate. One never thought of those things. Even in Test cricket, I mean, we never analyzed somebody on run rate. We looked at it very differently. But I think it's great for cricket, because at the end, whatever the public wants to see is what is going to be captured, and that is what we have to project in. So cricket has now developed or transformed into different formats, and I think there's nothing wrong with it. And only the conventional crickets keep on happening. That's the sort of mark. But I think it's going to get even more. I mean, look at 20 over cricket now. Like you said, 500 odd runs, and they're doing it with ease. Not even there. It just needs two players to do well, and you can chase anything you want to.
Yes, Nagesh Thakur, sir.
If in Mumbai, there are the best batsmen which has been produced for India. There are no bowlers who has reached to that level. Why is so?
They had Shivalkar, very Abdul Ismail during my time, Gavri.
Not this cricket. Gavri was not in Mumbai.
Okay,
He was
yes,
always on-
then you had Raju Kulkarni. There are bowlers, Agarkar.
Very few, very few.
They have been.
But there are the international batsmen which have been produced by Mumbai. The great international batsmen produced by Mumbai.
Because you're equivalent, you're trying to weigh it against the great batsmen that you have. Somehow Mumbai is always, it's so funny that you have asked this question. They're known for their batting skills. I mean, Mumbai, I played a lot in Mumbai from 1973 onwards, played against them as well. But the funny thing is that the bowlers somehow always manage to win them the matches. It's very funny. Maybe they were average. Yeah.
42 times.
And and the only way you can win in a match is if you get all your 20 wickets.
20 wickets, yes.
Without that, you cannot win. So
season.
maybe they didn't have the classic. Like let's say compare Bishan Singh Bedi with Shivalkar. I mean, because Bedi was around, classic style, he was fantastic as well. But Shivalkar was no less. I mean, he was terrible to bat on, and our turner, I mean, you talk about Derek Underwood, you should try to face a Shivalkar. He gave you headaches. And he gave us headaches every time we played. And he won a lot of matches for Mumbai as well. That's why I immediately said, maybe he didn't play for India. He was unfortunate not to play for India. But he was always there for them. Abdul Ismail, you talk about Bumrah. Abdul Ismail bowling was very much like Bumrah, exactly the same in-swinger, out-swinger. It would cut out, cut in, and give us a lot of headaches. He was always there too. There were so many Mumbai bowlers who have managed to get them wickets at the end of the day. So, although the batting has always been the strength, the bowling has always got them the victory at the end of the day. So I would not judge it on that manner. I would judge that domestically they've always been, there's something in them that is a little bit more than a lot of other sides. It's the pride maybe that comes
Is that
with it.
because of the former cricketers were getting the chances to play on Azad Maidan, Cross Maidan, Shivaji Park and all that?
Yeah.
So they get best of the worst as well as the best of the wicket to bat. And
Yeah.
so that their batting was developed much more rather than the bowlers who used to get the Parry, as you said.
Yeah.
Parry used to get only wickets not on the good tracks, but on the turning track, Parry was very treacherous. Abdullah was absolutely again. Abdullah was moving the ball. Or when he has got a beautiful weather, so Abdullah was moving the ball beautifully.
Yeah,
But
see,
otherwise,
there have been,
when
yeah.
old ball is there, there was a very difficult thing.
Yeah.
For Abdullah to do.
See, batting, because I'll tell you, I've played so much of cricket in Mumbai. I mean, like I said, I'm very fortunate that I came into Mumbai cricket from 1973 with Mahindras and Bombay Gym, Jolly Cricketers, all of them. Played Kanga League, played everything. And played in all the Maidans that we were. There were no, you tried to face a Karsan Gavri at a Nirlawn match. The crowd came with him, and suddenly between that you saw Karsan coming into bowl. The concentration was great. More than anything else, what people don't realize, we from outside, we came here, we were confused first. And then we learned that when we walked into that ground, to bat, you had to imagine the players, because there were other players from other teams as well. So, you were mapping yourself. Okay, you would say that was first thing you watched is where are the fielders, where are your fielders? And that we put into our minds. And that's what Bombay players kept on getting that advantage. That they had this, somehow, third sense, which came about. There was something, because of the sort of conditions in which they grew up. If you played in Pune or you played anywhere else, it was just one match and everything was open. Here, you have to imagine where the players were and the gaps. When the ball came, and you have to hit in through those gaps. And that somehow came automatically by playing a lot of cricket here. And that's what Bombay's cricket was all about. It taught me a lot, and that's why I managed to play at the higher level, was because of my exposure to cricket in Bombay.
Good question.
yes, sir.
A lot of research, actually.
Yes, gentlemen.
Yeah, my question is to the panelists, maybe Anil or Dev or anyone.
Yeah.
When I observed when Sachin began his career, he was very shy, soft-spoken, and not very communicative, although maybe he had the ability, but he was rather shy. But later on, as he progressed and as he grew up, I think he became one of the best public speakers when he came to deliver his speeches. Would you, anybody, throw light on what sort of development did he or acquire any training, or how did it happen? I mean, if you heard his speech, I think on the last day, I think one of the most iconic and the best speeches I've ever heard. I don't know if somebody scripted it for him. When people say Ravi is scripted for, that's a different matter. But the way he spoke, the best speeches ever heard. Would somebody like
Maybe Anil did.
Probably the way he started.
After all, he introduced all the guests at his reception.
Probably the way, the sir started with this speech that my life between 22 yards for 24 years, that one sentence said it all.
I think what he did on the cricket field, he did off the field as well, perfectionist, always looking to get better, always looking to, not resting on his laurels. And I think that just extended into other spheres of his life besides the cricket field. So as you said, so if you see some of his old interviews, he used to speak in monosyllables. But with the passage of time, he got better. And he would have observed a lot of people, how they conduct themselves, how they talk. And when you travel all over the world, when you interact with people, overseas cricketers, senior players, I'm sure he would have seen a lot of Mr. Gavaskar speaking in public. So all that would have, enabled him to,
No, it's the confidence. Basically, the confidence that.
He was well trained.
Yeah.
He was well trained.
He had a very powerful memory. Because as I said, कोणी लिहून दिलेलं नाही आहे त्याला. काय the last day when he was about to retire, when he spoke, nobody gave it in writing. But even if anybody would have given it in writing to him, to speak for 25-30 minutes, that was a long time. You have to keep yourself memorized for what event and what is the position you have to talk. For 24 years, he spoke in 20-30 minutes. I remember one of the doctors who treated him, he's from Avakar, Dr. Bhujan Pai. He's a radiologist for BCCI was. He also mentioned his name. So he was so immaculate because he never missed out anybody. I was really surprised. I was all like, he has spoken at length. Each and every individual who has touched his life during those 24 years. Amazing.
Yes,
I think he invited everyone also to the reception.
Yes.
Or something, the party, anybody who had some. It's just a confidence.
When we honored him, when he scored those 664 runs partnership, we had a program in the school and we honored both these boys, Sachin and Vinod. So Vinod spoke for about 2 minutes and we told Sachin, now you speak. He spoke, thank you very much.
Yes, Milind Wagle. So after that, we take your question.
Yeah.
No, so
Yes, sir.
Let me
Wagle, sir.
just add one more thing about Sachin. I observed him so closely. He was the greatest analyst of his own. I tell you, I used to listen everyone, Tom, Dick and Harry coming to him while he was landing and giving him some advice.
Last two questions.
तू असं कर, तो elbow तुझा असं कर. I'm telling you, he used to listen everyone, each and everyone. I think probably the Bhajiwala also, if we would have given him some advice like this, But ultimately, all the time, what he did
was analyzing it, the advices and what is best for him, he inculcates. That is the best and the most.
Beauty of it.
Why is he there? Is because he is the best in his analyzing his own drawbacks and strength. Right? Same thing he must have done after his playing career got over, and he knew that he is lacking little bit in communication skill because of his nature, whatever the reason. He must have analyzed it properly, or watching SMG or whosoever, commentators, speakers, Harsha, even Harsha is very close to him as well. And he must have analyzed, and then the development happened. That's what I think personally.
Yes, Wagle sir.
This question doesn't qualify for prize.
I won't give it to you.
Sunny, very quickly, the marathon 42.195 kilometers. The 100 meters blue ribbon cannot become an 80 meters. The marathon 42.195 cannot become a 21 kilometers. It's not a marathon.
Yeah.
Innovations in cricket, how much?
You're seeing the innovation in
Yeah,
cricket.
but how much?
You're a lot. It will keep on because you can see people now playing.
Sorry. For someone who's played Test cricket, is this you answered in some way where you said that's what the world wants?
Yeah.
Is that the way cricket should be played? That's my question.
Yeah, of course. Because at the end of the day, you're playing a sport. You're playing a sport to entertain. The spectators are as important to you as yourself. And that's what your recognition and your glory comes with adulation and the following. That's exactly, we are all here. And why are we praising Sachin Tendulkar? Because he did something which was extraordinary. He went beyond it. And there will be other cricketers, like I mentioned, Yashasvi, maybe. He may go beyond that also. I mean, if he gets 400, can you imagine he would become another phenomenon in our life. And so that innovation, that improvement in life has to go on. That's what it's all about, how do you transform to a higher level? And that's going to continue here, that is definitely. And that only comes when you have following.
Actually, Milind, there are definitely cricket followers, traditional followers, who they don't value IPL, T20s and others. But they are very few and they are getting reduced day by day. Everyone is shifting and taking interest in lower wide ball cricket, as they say. So for cricket to survive, I think as on today, more important is to take care of those 95, 99% of cricket enthusiasts, who are following the shorter version of the game more than to stick to traditional observers. If we take care of them and neglect this, cricket will not survive.
I think Virat Kohli is doing a fantastic job by pushing through, he and a lot of the English players, about how important Test cricket is. And I can see that flow. People are coming to the ground. They started understanding cricket. People who would have never thought knew cricket and things. And especially youngsters, I'm seeing young boys. And gradually they are realizing, the basic cricket is Test cricket. And they're all progressing. Everyone at the end says, I want to play Test cricket. And I think that's how the flow will go through. It's getting people first, and now it's exploding, basically.
Yeah, true. It's now time for us to take a last question. That gentleman,
My name is Mukund.
Yeah.
We start the question with two references in Marathi. Sangati Santa Doshanam, Kabadi Sachin Tendulkar. And another reference is Hey Jeevan Manje Cricket Raja, Ukala Ko Samla. Sachin's career, the stats are phenomenal. Not for a second, he had so many problems in his career. Bad and stance also. And about this company, there were so many, including match fixing, there were so many instances when he could have Wakadapaul Patna Jana Mankapan. So the question is, how strong was his foundation of sanskar? The stance was based on samskar. So people like you who came into his career from time to time, you were also instrumental. Now I can definitely mention that each and every person, even these panelists, they were instrumental in Sachin not diverting his toward incident. But the original samskar, who you will give the credit of Sachin's samskar?
I'll answer your question. See, Sachin Tendulkar's career when he was young, he started when he was born at Sahitya Sahwas there. It's basically a cultured community where I know for sure that Kotni sir was also very close to a place where he stayed. Now the whole area where Sachin stayed had a cultured society. Tithe in Marathi, as you say, are ture nahi, aho. This is the language that they speak. And I'm so confident about that because whenever I used to go to Sahitya Sahwas, I used to always be greeted by Apanya. Tu ye nahi. It is a typical soft language and the culture that he was molded through has brought him big color. It's a rainbow color. If you think about Vinod Kamble, where I for certain know, he used to stay in Kanamar Nagar. तिथे सगळे लाठी चार्जेस होते because Vinod came from a family of 4-5 brothers. His father was not a big individual. I think his father used to serve in a mill. So here his father was, Sachin's dad was a teacher by profession. So सगळं संस्कारच आहे. Ultimately the culture, how you develop, how you come up in life, it's all built in and it is transferred. It is genes that always follow. Basically.
So blame society.
Main is the society.
Yes.
Main is the society.
And now may I invite esteemed judge, Mr. Rakesh Khanna, to please step forward and... Yeah, okay, please, sir. Over to you.
No, he wants to ask one more.
There's one question, yeah.
Okay, we'll take one last question.
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Mr. Mathure.
Yeah. I never watched Vinod Kamble or Sachin Tendulkar play live. So my question to you is, who is a better batsman between Vinod Kamble and Sachin Tendulkar when they are playing?
अरे सचिनचा प्रोग्राम करते 10 मिनिटानंतर बघतो.
A better batsman if
बोल
Vinod
ना.
Kamble was chosen to play for India even after the 2000
हाँ
incident.
हाँ.
You're asking me.
Firstly, the 2000 incident had nothing to do with Vinod Kamble. He was not part of that group that sold the country. Let's get that clear. Vinod had his share of bad luck. He had a very good phase. Then he sort of lost his form, came back, and then he was 12th man in a game, and he came onto field for two or three overs, and he dislocated his ankle. So he lost a year. So there was a lot of he had a lot of poor luck also.
See, I mean, when you look at it, again, like I said, you cannot, at least here you can compare. Both were very, very gifted. Like I said in my talk, batting with Kamble, I realized that this young boy, he was such a talent. For somebody to get 2 double hundreds in his first part of his career, in Test cricket itself, shows he was a phenomenal talent. There is no way. Then comes the progress, what you said, is how do you culture this talent into becoming consistent? Understanding what are you're playing in that level. That's where you have to then, there are certain commitments, certain things that you have to. Salim Durrani, for example, was a brilliant player. Brilliant. It was just but his lifestyle was very different, and he didn't have the same that commitment and things towards the match. Like Tendulkar, he's focused. Sunil Gavaskar, focused in what they were doing. You can it's very easy to get wayward, I can tell you that. And I blame Mumbai's society for spoiling Kamble, basically. The parties which went along, he became a celebrity, and he couldn't differentiate between, as now we know, his personality was always very aggressive, being of this nature. He became a victim to that. and he couldn't get out of it. I mentioned to you, Virat Kohli went through the same thing, but how he has changed and how he has now become a serious sort of where his cricket is concerned. If Kamli had taken to that, I think it would have been, he would have been as, I don't know, he would have been, I don't know where somebody else would have got into. I don't think Yuvraj would have got into the side.
No. So one incident, let me narrate before we adjourn actually. As sir mentioned, 92 series and around, that was the time when Vinod was at his best. At the same time, if you all remember, Sachin was going downward. That particular period of 2 to 3 years, if you look at Sachin's score and rest of his career score, they were the worst patch, apart from the elbow injury, whatever. So we were coming from CCI after our Sundays net. He used to drop me at Shivaji Park, and went and used to go to Bandra. One of the signals, again a signal story, one paperwala was, so I had that habit midday I used to take. And when I opened sports page, there was a headline, Vinod Kamli to consult Bejan Daruwala for his future, was the headline. So I just read it out for Sachin. Vinod, काय करतोय तो? आता Bejan Daruwala कडे कशाला? Why? I don't think. वेडा आहे का? काळू वेडा आहे का? एवढं चांगलं करतोय, कशाला हे सगळे धंदे करायचे? ऍक्च्युली आता गरज आहे बेजन दारूवाल्याला दाखवायची ती मला आहे. Quote unquote. I can disclose it now because it's end of everyone's career. He said, वेडा आहे का? मला दाखवायची गरज आहे बेजन दारूवाल्याला. हा कशाला भानगडी पडतोय? So something different he was believing in doing, something different for the gallery and all that. And that sort of also contributed to his downfall. Anyway, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please, sir.
My first word goes to
Mukund. Mukund.
Can we all give it up for Mukund as he collects his award, his prize in the hands of Yajurvindra sir.
Second goes to my neighbor.
The second prize in this question quiz goes to Mr. Nitin.
Cameraman.
Third goes to his neighbor.
Yes, prize number 3 goes to Mr. Vasu as he comes up to collect his award. Everybody be seated, please. We're going to be having a vote of thanks. So please be seated for the next 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes. Yeah.
1 minute, just please be seated.
Yeah, please be seated. Before I present the stage to Mr. Milind Wagle to present his vote of thanks, it's time for me to say a big thank you to Mr. Marcus Kute and the organizing committee members for getting me on board, and hope to stay connected with all of you for a long time. Over to Milind Wagle sir for the vote of thanks. मैं देता हूँ.
रिया ना आपको वो नहीं मिला ना. हाँ चेतन चौहान and myself nobody answered. I answered Chavan. Do your.
So everyone, Marcus today thought that.
So 1 minute.
Marcus today thought that if he allows me to be here,
as a commentator, I'll take half an hour. So he said, vote of thanks, so isko pata dena. 14th August 1990, Quizmaster in me doesn't go before I come to the vote of thanks. 14th August 1990, Sachin Tendulkar, 117 at the age of 17 years at the Oval. On the same day, not the same year, another great had a distinction of doing something. Who was that great? No prize. Very quickly. Yeah. This 14th of August, before the vote of thanks, very quickly. 14th of August 1990, Sachin Tendulkar, 17 years, 114 days, 100 at the Oval in England. Another great cricketer on the same date, 14th of August, did something different on a different year. Who is that great cricketer? 14th of August, different year, great cricketer, did something different. I'm not saying he got 100. No? No. Devendra, here I am foxing you. Okay. The correct answer. Oh.
You one more clue.
He was an Australian.
14th August it has to be the English season. Not badminton. So it has to be on the tour of England. Not badminton something.
What did he do? What did he do?
He got out for 4.
What did he do?
Married. Last test inning 0.
Last test inning 0. That's right. Same date, last inning 0. Australia won by innings, and obviously Bradman didn't get a chance to bat in the second innings. So there you are, the Quizmaster and me. Right. Thank you so much, Sunny, the original Sunny to me today this evening. And we call him the chief. We call him the chief also, by the way. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. Wonderful listening to you. Anil Joshi, oh, brilliant. Absolutely. I'm so honored that Anil, Kedar and Ravi, my friends from the ANZ group are here. Anil, you are absolutely brilliant. I wish we had more time with all of you all. Incidentally.
I would like to add one more point about Nilin talking about Anil Joshi. For me, he is man for all seasons.
Wonderful. Laxman Chavan, absolutely brilliant. We owe it to you for that patch which this evening we were looking at from Parsee Gymkhana, the Sasanian. Thank you so much. Devendra, KK, you are in trouble with this man around. Okay, so Devendra, wonderful. Always a pleasure to listen to you out here. I keep on saying, why doesn't he step into the world of broadcasting? He's a wonderful speaker. I'm sure he's not old enough, but he'll still make his debut in the world of broadcasting. Kedar Gupte, an old friend of mine, once again, absolutely brilliant with his anecdotes. Absolutely brilliant. Ravi Gadiyar, 5 wickets in the first match, never to play for Mumbai after that. But today he does yeoman service for Mumbai. Yeomans, I think he deserves a huge round of applause. Under 14, 16, 19, they all owe it to him, right? Well, what can I say, Aditi? At the age of 10, I heard your father, and that inspired me to become a commentator. Trust me, Aditi has been a beautiful danceuse of her time. I don't know whether she still participates or teaches, but she's been a wonderful danceuse herself, and the son of one of India's greatest cricketers, as Sunny said, Vijay Merchant. If he had not played cricket, the world of broadcasting would have been much richer, but obviously cricket was his first love. And we always remembered you and him at the Mankad house where you all were so close. Thank you so much for being here, Aditi. As also your grandson, Evanaj, if that's the right way I'm pronouncing it, Evanaj, right, for their presence. Unfortunately, Raiji's daughter is not here with us. She's not been well. Would have been lovely to have her here also. Natty or Natarajan, our good old friend, was supposed to be here but not well, so we missed him this evening. We would have had more anecdotes from him. Our sponsors, how can we forget our main sponsors? Vesa and the Active Sports, thank you so much. You were there last time. Are they here?
No,
the last time and this time, and we hope to have them in future as well. Jack and Jones and Red Fox Media, thank you so much. Theo Braganza, as always, comes up with some beautiful gifts. They were here today for all of you. A standing ovation, of course, to Burzin Bumgera for just declaring that he will foot the venue bill tonight, and for him, we thank him very much. Where is he? Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We really feel your great gesture. Nishad, as I said, Krishna Kumar, Devendra and me are in trouble. You did a wonderful job this evening. ProSport Solutions and the event management company. We will, of course, see you here again on the 10th of July, not on the 12th. 12th, of course, is another Legends birthday. As we said, this is not a Legends Club meet, but 12th of May, please remember Nandu Natekar, whose birthday falls on that day. But we'll meet on the 10th of July for the birthday of one of the greatest, of course. Right, and we certainly missed my guru, because I started my process with Doordarshan after Fredun Devitra. He's not here today. He was supposed to be a speaker, but he's not well. His wife is not well, I believe. Yeah. So we'd wish her the very best. But Fredun has been a wonderful anchor for Doordarshan in the formative years, from whom I learned a lot a little later on. And obviously this evening is still open. The dinner is served, and for those of you who, of course, want to have your drinks, they are here. Don't miss the kulfi towards the end at the Parsee Gymkhana. That, ladies and gentlemen, is all from us. And my apologies, Marcus. He gave me the script but didn't add his name. And thank you so much, Marcus, for a wonderful job. You and your entire team. You and our entire team. Thank you.
You're also a part of it.
Well done.
Let's chant Sachin, Sachin at least once.
Yeah. Sachin! 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 Sachin!